In our previous video, UpperDowner, you learned how to make buttons which increase and decrease a number on your screen. Now, we're going to add a little bit of functionality to this in an app that I call 256 Shades of Gray. So we can change the background color of our screen using these buttons. So the first thing I want to do is make a copy of UpperDowner. And I just right-click on that and say Copy. I'm going to right-click and say Paste. And I'm going to call this one Shades of Gray. And I have the default location highlighted, and I say OK. I didn't put 255 Shades of Gray because you don't really want to start the name of anything in computer programming with a number. So I have my old UpperDowner. I'm going to collapse that because we're done working on it. I'm also going to close all the files from my old project, so I make sure I'm not accidentally editing the old project when I mean to be editing the new project. Okay, let's open Shades of Gray. We're going to be modifying mainly the Java. So I'm going to open up the source folder and notice that this project is called UpperDowner. I can rename that by using the refactor, rename, and I can call it Shades of Gray. And package names are all lowercase, Shades of Gray. So now we're talking about our Shades of Gray app and UpperDowner activity. Now it might make sense to rename that Shades of Gray activity. So I'm going to refactor, rename, and instead of up down, it's Shades of Gray activity. Finish. Okay. Now, we have our values here. Right under our values, let's create a method. And you create a method by saying void in the name of the method. Let's call it update screen. And then 2 parentheses, open and close. And then 2 curly braces, open and close. This is how I'm going to create a method called updateScreen. And what does that update method need to do? Well, for one thing, it needs to set the value of our text view. So now, instead of having that line there, I'm going to put updateScreen here. So now I'm going to call the method updateScreen, which is going to do that. I'm going to replace this line, as I mentioned earlier, and say go update screen. So now I'm really just saying do the thing which I said is called update screen, and that lives up here. I'm going to save my project. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click the play button. Run this as an Android application, and make sure I haven't broken anything. So as soon as that finishes launching, I'm going to pick the emulator. So there it is. Plus button adjusts up, minus button adjusts down, and we essentially just moved the mValue text view set text up into this update screen. We're going to be adding more behavior in update screen so that both the plus button and the minus button do the same thing. We need to take a minute to understand how color works on a computer. It's called RGB color space, or red, green, blue. Every color that you can see on your computer has some mixture of red, green, and blue in it. So there's blue. We can see that these different colors have some component of red, some component of green, some component of blue. So if you wanted to make a purple, you would bring up some red, turn down the green, and bring up some amount of blue. Depending on how much of the red and the blue you mix is the intensity of the purple. All the way turned up is white, because that's mixing all the colors together, we get white. All the way turned down is black. And anywhere in the middle, if you put the same number on each one of these sliders, you're going to get some color of gray. 200 will be, lighter than 100. But they're all going to be the same color gray. So what we're going to do is use our single value to put in the red, green, and blue components of a color to make whatever color gray they want to make. So how do we do that? I guess the first thing we should do is see how to change the color to something we know. And so we have to get the window, and get something called decor view. And from that, we can set the background color to some known color. And again, taking baby steps, let's see color.red. Can we do that? Color.red. So now, what we've written here is whenever we press an up or a down button, it's going to update the screen and then change the background color to some fixed red color. We're just pushing the play button. Yeah, we want to save it. We're pushing the play button to see if we're able to change the background color at all. So once this thing goes back to 0, that means we've got the fresh installation going. Let's try it out. All right, we're zeroed out. I would expect when I push either the plus or the minus button for this number to change, and the background is going to turn red. And it does. Cool, so now we know we're able to change the background color of this view. Now, instead of changing it to red, let's change it to the gray that is based on the color that our number is. So how do we make a custom color? Start by saying color. Actually, our color is going to be an int mColor semicolon. And let's say mColor equal 100, because we remember what 100 level gray looks like. 100 should look like that. So let's make a color based on 100. And the way you do that is you say mColor is equal to color.rgb, which is short for red, green, blue, and it wants to know the red component, the green component, and the blue component. So we want to put 100 in each one of these boxes. So there will be a color called mColor. We're going to define mColor to be the color we get by making a red of 100, a green of 100, and a blue of 100. And now we're going to tell it set our background to mColor, whatever mColor is. Save that, run that, and when this gets around to refreshing, when we push the button, we should get a background color of that 100 level gray. So here the app is loaded, and we expect when we click on the plus or minus button for the background to turn to this 100 level gray. And it does. Now we're just one step away from choosing any color gray that the user wants. Rather than using 100, let's just use their value, mValue, in the red, the green, and the blue. Now, as they increase the number, all 3 values go up and the screen gets brighter. As they decrease the number, all 3 values go down and the screen gets dimmer. So here we have it launched, and it's very dark. Why is it very dark? Because a value of 111 is a very dark gray. It's almost close to black. So to get that color higher, you're going to have to click this button a bunch of times. So there's our value 100, which matches with the gray value 100 from over there. Now, a couple of touching, or features to add onto this. We might say that instead of being called UpperDowner, we wanted this to be called 255 Shades of Gray. And to make this a little more usable, why don't we make it add 10 at a time instead, or maybe 5 or 10 at a time, instead of 1 at a time. So a couple of easy tweaks. Here we can make it add 5 at a time and subtract 5 at a time. Minus equal 5 is the shorthand for that. Save this. And then to change the title of the app is over here under Resources, Values, Strings, and the title is now 255 Shades of Gray. Save that and run it again. So here it is with a title and 5 at a time. Now a question is, what happens if we increase it to more than the 255 limit? Let's find out. Okay. What I'd really like is for this to reset to 0 if it goes over 255 or under 0. So we might put that in the update screen here. If m value is greater than 255 or m value less than 0, then m value equals 0. That way, we will never have a value that's outside the valid range of colors. So now 0, or negative, takes us down to 0, but no lower than 0. The next step to making any color we want is to just add 2 more rows of buttons and assigning one for the red value, one for the green value, and one for the blue value. And that's what we're going to do in the next video.